So I thought I'd make this video for the very beginning Dremel carvers, since this is a beginning wood carving channel. Here's a piece of western red cedar. It's just a scrap board. It's a fence board, so it's supposed to be like 1 inch thick, but it's about, I don't know, 3/4 inches thick. So what I want to do on this Dremel video is I want to talk about Dremel carving for the very beginners. I want to talk about undercuts. Okay, so undercut, and this is just my opinion. An undercut, what we're going to do today is we're going to carve this square box, just a square, make it simple, so you think of it as a maple leaf, or if you wanted to carve a leaf on here, or a car, or a boat, or anything, this would be a 2D carving. So I am running the Dremel 4000 with a Dremel flex shaft and this Kutzall. This is what I'm going to start out with, this Kutzall Extreme Flame Bit for the Dremel carving video. Now, so undercut is, first of all, there's a few things I want to suggest, and it's just my suggestions too. What we want to do is we want to make this box, we'll call it a box, okay? It's just going to be a square, but we'll call it a box. We want to make it look like it's not attached to the wood. We want to make it look like somebody has got the box, put some glue on it, and glued it on there, okay? So there's lots of benefits for undercuts. Let's start there. I think the biggest benefit is it looks like it's not carved into the piece. I'll explain that later. And a big benefit for undercuts is shadows. You get the shadow effects. So what I'm going to do quickly is I'm going to cut around this box square with the Dremel, the Kutzall bit. Okay, and then for this piece here, for this side here, what I'm going to do all in here is I'm going to remove the wood away from the box. All right, so what that means is I'm going to cut all this wood away. So I'm going to do my deep cut here, a deep cut here, and then all this wood here, I'm going to remove it away to make it look like there's not a cut there. So here, when I do the deep cut, I'm just going to remove it away a little bit. I'm going to show you how much better the piece will look when you remove lots of wood away from your, we'll call this a subject. You remove lots of wood away from the subject than just doing one cut and quickly tapering it so it looks like there's a steep slope in there. So let me get this cut in, and maybe I'll do a time lapse. We'll just film this live. I'm going to turn my Dremel up. Okay, so there's my cut. You got lots of, you got 3/4 of an inch. Let's just barely remove the wood around here. Watch, I'll just show you. I'll kind of film live here. Okay, now here too. Okay, so there's that. This is what the very beginners do, just carve it away a little bit. But this is what I do. I'm going to carve lots of this wood away, so it looks like there's not even a hill. Okay, so you can see here where I cut lots of the wood away right up in there and tapered it way back. And here's where I didn't. Now you can see that where it goes boom, boom. You can easily see it on the camera, but you can't see it here. A little bit. I should have tapered it back more, but that's good enough. So now what kind of burr do you want to use for the undercut? There's so many different types of burrs you can use. Also, you can use a wood burning pen, but that doesn't really it does work good for when you're painting it because it separates this from this and acts like a little ditch in there, so it acts like a little ditch there, so the paint won't or stain won't bleed off here to there or here to there. Okay? So, you can use, like I said, many different types of burrs for the undercut. You could use these cheap 3-point cutters. You can use this Kutzall taper burr, the silver one. There's other sorts you can do, but let's just leave it at these two for now. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this burr on my Dremel flex shaft, and I'm going to go cut under here, and when I got this burr on my flex shaft, Dremel flex shaft, I'm going to hold it as flat to the piece I can to get it underneath there nice and smooth, because the flatter you hold this burr to your piece to do the undercut, the less cut mark you'll have under here, like, to remove, if that makes sense to you. So let me get this on here. Stand by. I'll be back. Okay, I got the burr on. This is a good burr to have for the very beginner Dremel carvers, this taper burr and the Kutzall Extreme Flame burr. So like I said, I'm going to hold it as flat to this wood, like not up like this, but I'm going to hold it flat and get underneath this square. Okay, so you got that cut there. Now you got to taper that wood away so you don't see a bump. You don't even see a cut there. Taper it back. Okay, so there's our undercut. We can go a little bit deeper. Okay, so we got some depth in there. Now let's do one here. And do one here. And over here, flatter. Okay, so we got all our undercuts in. Now look at that shadow here. Let's see if we spin it over this side, see if we get a shadow. Yeah, we still got a shadow there. But this is the side where I've tapered off lots of the wood, sloped it way back. And here's where I didn't. So what I'm going to do now off screen, I'm going to sand this, just quickly sand it. And then we're going to give it a clear coat. Okay, so you can see our box square here. I didn't taper away the wood that much right here or here. These are both the same. So I numbered them 1. This is 1 plus. This one's 1. 2, and 3. This one I really tapered the wood away so it's almost like a flat plane. This one's like a slow hill. And these ones are super steep. Now I got some clear spray here, this Rust-Oleum Satin Clear. I use this awesome all the time. And like this is for the very... Okay, so I got some Rust-Oleum Satin Clear here. I'm going to spray this, and I just want to show you guys. I know these are different grains. This would be kind of like end grain, this would be face grain, this would be edge grain. But I think almost guaranteed, because I didn't take much of this wood away. Let's see if we can show you the angle here. See how sloped it is? And it is. That you're going to get, this is going to be the darkest here when I spray it. Because this, you've taken so much wood away, you're evening out the layers of the grain, if that makes sense to you. So let's spray it, and I swear this is going to be darker right here, probably on the number 1 plus. I'm going to get out of this room here and let it dry. All right, so here you go. So these are the parts, like 1, 1, 2, 3. Now, this one I tapered the most wood away. This one the least most, but these two are the same. But you see how that doesn't look very good? It just looks like you've carved it in quick and then you just quick tried to sand that smooth. But you see if you taper it away, how much better it looks. I don't know if you can really see on camera. Let me try and spin it. There's a little bit of a cut mark there. So, like I said, you want to make it look like this. Here's a perfect example. If I didn't have these different marks here, it was all like this, it looks like you would have picked up this square and glued it on there. Those shitty cut marks there, taper them away. The more that you taper all the wood away flat around this, looks like you've glued it on. And I want to show you another, and this is just me trying to help you. Make it look like the piece is not carved in there. I see this so many times. I've done it myself on the very beginning. People that are just getting into the Dremel carvings, I see this all the time. The more that you take that wood away, it's going to look a lot better. But suit yourself. Now here's an example of, this is one that, Happy Halloween, big tatas there, and the pumpkins and the cat. Naked ladies jumping out of the pumpkin. But here's an example. Ben's studio at the lake made this for me. But here's an example of the wood burning. So what he did, he wood burned all the way around here. Right? You see the little burn mark there? And then he painted so the paint won't travel onto here. But when I'm looking at this closely, I can see it slowly rounds up, and because he has to cut here, here. So what he did, he removed all the wood inside here. Right? So these things look like they're placed on. So the more wood that you, slow down, Jordy. The more wood that you remove in between your, so here's our carving, a carving, a carving. The more wood that you remove in between them makes it look like they weren't carved on and they were placed on. See how much wood he had to remove inside here? And he just made chisel marks or something for the backdrop. So I hope this video is able to help you guys. Don't be afraid to take more wood away. Yeah, it sucks. It's boring. And, just like you want to quickly carve it and done it. But look at this. Like, look at that cut mark. That's what, the outside edge, that's what I call a cut mark. Look at that compared to that. You can see a little bit of a bump there. The more wood you take away, the better it's going to look like you glued it on.